Well, hello there. This is Hand with video number 9 or 10. I've lost counts, but that's okay because that's not to take away the book review of the week. This week I decided to review the book named Dracula by Bram Stoker. This is one of the most understated books in the market, I think, because no one recommended it to me, and I just kind of found it in the free kind of books in the Kindle store, and it was curious because it's such a good book that it should be valued more than the $0 that it's on the electronic version of this book. I don't have the physical version because, as I just said, I did buy the free version because I'm so cheap. I'm gonna upload a picture of the cover of the book, probably on my left or on my right. Well, let me first tell you about the writing style of this book. Bram Stoker chose to relay the whole story through a set of letters and journals that have been kept by characters, supposedly. I mean, it's not real, it's a fiction, remember? This is interesting, particularly because, first off, most fiction readers, they are used to reading the stories through a third person or first person point of view, but they have never read something like this, which is very different. And secondly, it keeps the reader engaged and curious from one chapter to another, and it does not fail to bore the reader. I mean, it keeps you engaged, so you can just guess what I mean by that. Because as I read the book, I read it probably in 2 days or 3 days because it was so intense. Although at times, the journals and the things that are written by the characters, they might become kind of repetitive on their own. So if you just kind of skip those parts because they are kind of formality, and believe me, when you read the book, you will understand what I mean. Because there are lots of points of repetitions by each character, and it might bore you, but do not get segued into and in my opinion, it is particularly amusing for the reader to fill in the blanks, the ignorances in a character's observations, by reading the next chapter, which is basically, say, Van Helsing's diary, or Lucy's diary, or Mary Harker or John Harker's diary. That's what's keeping the reader amused at most. Now let me tell you more about the story of the Dracula. I think it is characterized under a horror genre, however, it is anything but being scary. I mean, if I choose to read a horror book, I have high expectations. I am expecting to be more creeped out than reading human emotions. I mean, let's be honest, this book did not live up to my expectations, however amazing it was. And by not being scary, I mean not being scary. That's what it means. No spoilers, but one scene that creeped me out the most was one in which John Harker, while pretending to be asleep in his bed in Dracula's castle in live action, saw three girls appearing in his room out of the blue, um, contemplating on sucking of his blood. And if that's not creepy enough for you, a minute or two after that, while the girls are in John Harker's room, Dracula appears and shoos them off. By guess what? Guess what Dracula tells the girls to just shoo them off. He's mine, girls. You had the baby that I brought in yesterday. I mean, that was creepy enough for me. And that was in the beginning of the book, and after that, not much happened. However amusing it was for me to go through journals of John Harker, Mina Harker, Lucy, Lords, and the doctors. It was interesting, but this was the creepiest of all. And for all you vampire fans out there, if you're choosing this book because of the name Dracula, well, the alpha vampire in my opinion, please don't read it if you want to get some Twilight kind of experience out of it, because um, Dracula, the book, does not have any dialogues of the Dracula himself, except for a selected few which are more towards the beginning. But throughout the book, you barely have Dracula present. It's just talk of Dracula. Himself is not present at all throughout the story. He barely has any dialogue in there. One more point before I wrap up the video, and there's that I love the book The Dracula so much, but if you're someone who's in doubt as to whether or not to start the book, well, rest assured you would not be disappointed if you're looking to read something that has a strong story behind it, and if you care about not being bored while reading the first 20 pages of a book, this book is not one of those, and it will keep you curious until the end of the book. And it is very rare for a classic to do that. Well, there's not much else that I can tell you without spoiling the story itself. As far as the writing style and this general pointers about the story goes, I think I've covered everything. And if you had any questions, if you have any questions, which I doubt you will, because I was thorough enough, let me know down in the comment section, and I would be happy to answer you. Thank you. Bye.